Okay, so probably the most difficult thing you're going to find if you're new to Paidoff, or even if you've been with it for a long time, is it's hard to really know how much money you've spent or have available to spend based off your income. And that's because when you get your paychecks, they land in the bank account, and at midnight, they get swept into the loan. So the next day, when you log into your bank, it shows $0. Well, if you're not good at budgeting or not good at being aware of your spending, that can be a problem. So, for example, let's say you have $10,000 a month that comes in between yourself and your spouse. You really shouldn't be spending more than $10,000, otherwise you're adding to your loan. And that's really important. That's how this program works. The more you can save, the faster you're going to pay your loan down. So, I've been with this product since 2021, and we haven't really used a budgeting app because for the most part we're pretty good. We typically spend within our means, but there's definitely been months where we have overspent, and that's a problem. So we found this app recently called Pocket Guard. You have to pay for it, but it's pretty awesome because it comes with a lot of really cool features. Right here, I'm showing you the menus. They can, teach you about personal finance. You can set goals for paying off debts. They'll actually go out and look for bills that can be lowered for you, and you can let the automation try to go do that for you. They'll also find subscriptions that you have, subscriptions you may not be aware of, and you can cancel them directly from here. But what's really neat is you can share this app between you and your spouse, so you can both have the information at your fingertips at all times. And why I like it is you can tie in all of your credit cards, you can tie in your bank accounts, which you can see my North Point is at 0. That's the one that's tied to my loan. And it keeps track of all the transactions that come in. But at the end of the day, that's really what you care about. Like, how much have I spent? Because me personally, I have maybe 5 or 6 things that are tied to my North Point bank account, like life insurance payments, car insurance, and whatnot. But for the most part, we never use the debit card that is tied to that because we want to keep the loan balance as low as possible. I have a good video on that called turbocharging your loan, I believe. I'll put that link down in the video. But we want to know how much money do I actually have to spend at any point during the month. And the way you do that with this app on the overview is you can add in your bank accounts and you can set up your monthly income. So you can tell it, I get paid twice a month, my wife gets paid once a month, here's how much it is. And so it knows that for every month you're going to have, let's say $15,000, $10,000, whatever it is coming in. And then you can add in your recurring expenses, things like, for me, it's like a gym payments, cell phones, internet, donations to my church, life insurance. And so it knows that every month I'm going to be spending about $3,000 on bills that are going to be recurring. And it subtracts that out of the income that I know that you set up as well. So here we are, September 1st. It's telling me that I technically have $11,751 that I can spend, which means as long as I stay below that, I'm good. If I go over that, that means money is being added to my loan. You can do other things here too if you want. I haven't gotten that far. You can set up budget categories and, planning for the month, and it'll give you alerts and let you know if you've gone over that. I haven't really taken advantage of that. Then you can go on the insights, which there's nothing here for September, but in August it'll kind of show you what you've spent versus the previous month. You can see that as a list, and it breaks it down into categories, and you can go look in the groceries and see where you spent all your groceries at. I don't really use this too much. You can use hashtags. Some expenses come in that don't really have a description, so I have one here for Scouts. My boys are in Scouts. I can tag certain things that come in as expenses for Scouts, so I can keep track of that. Don't really use this too much, but it's kind of nice. One thing I do like on this overview is it'll kind of give you a heads up about your next pay that's coming in. If you had any goals, you could see that. But on the net income, if you click that, it breaks it down by month. So you can see in August, the green bar is how much money came in, my income, and then the orange is those reoccurring bills, and then the purple is what I spent. So as long as my green bar is higher than the purple and orange, it means I'm actually saving money and lowering my loan. So that's kind of nice to see. You always want to see in month of June, which is not accurate because this I just got this app, and some of the accounts that I added to it didn't have data going back that far. But this would be an example of a month where we spent more than we brought in, and that's what you don't want to see. So that's really handy, right? The other thing I really like is you can go look at your transactions. And so you can see like all the money that's being spent on credit cards and whatnot. And there are a couple things you have to be careful with. So like when your paychecks come in, you have to make sure, all in one shows it as negative. Well, it shows it as positive and negative. And negative is because it's immediately pulling that money back into the loan. And so you don't want to count that as an expense. So that's one of the things you have to do. Anytime you see these all-in-ones, you have to don't count it. It does the same thing if you have automatic bill payment set up. So like right here, I pay my State Farm out of there. So on the on the North Point Bank account that's tied, it advances me $479 that I can then go pay that bill. So I don't care about those advances. I'm just care about the money that's being spent out of my account. So I just ignored this advance. So you got to do that. Once you get past that, it's pretty easy. When you actually pay a credit card, your credit card billing statement gives you those, thank you for paying. It pulls that in. So I ignore those too because they cancel each other out. You just don't want to count that as part of your expenses because it's not really an expense. Your goal here is to just keep track of the things, the expenses, the negatives. So you need to fix those too as those come in. So here's another one of those where my loan had to advance me this amount of money so that I could go pay these bills. So you don't want to count the advance because that's not really income. So yeah, we really like this. At any point in time, we can log in. You can see too, it's giving me notifications here about, I don't know, new month, new spending budgets, whatever. But it's cool to have this. My wife and I can see it and log in from our phones. You can log in from the web. And at any point in time, I can go into the overview and I know how much money is left in my account. And I know that it's already taking into account those reoccurring bills. So I don't have to worry about making that calculation either. So yeah. Sadly, I haven't found this app until recently, and I really wish I would have had this earlier because I think I would have probably paid my house down faster because it would have really kept me on track with my spending. But anyway, give it a go. I've got the link down in the description, and if you have any questions, let me know.